Hey guys, make sure you watch today's video all the way to the end because there was a twist that I wasn't anticipating and I actually had to film an addendum to the end and you won't believe what I found out, so stick around. Hello everybody, welcome back to sunny Sarasota, Florida at C&S Corvettes. This is Lyle, your Corvette guy, here to give you some more interesting and hopefully helpful advice regarding Corvettes and Corvette parts. Please remember to like and subscribe if you enjoy what you see here, because those are the types of things that expand our algorithm and help us help you do more stuff. That enough said. On to today's topic. Today's title is
The Tale of Two Parts.
Now, that sounds rather dramatic, and it's not really dramatic, it's just something that kind of sucks. And the part I'm going to talk to you about today is one of a myriad of parts that are being produced in the aftermarket for Corvette that are supposedly exact reproductions. And they look right, but they don't necessarily do the job they're supposed to do. Case in point, hold one. I'm back. This looks really weird. And if you haven't had a dash apart, you probably don't know that this is the ignition switch of a 97 to 04 Corvette. You actually have the lock cylinder that you put your key in the dash. That goes in here, and at the end of that lock cylinder is this tiny, tiny little plastic pin that pushes another tiny, tiny plastic pin in here and moves contacts back here to let the car know that the key is fully engaged and that it is ready to start. That's an oversimplification, but that's basically what this part does. It's basically the brain of your ignition switch. This is a GM part. Notice, black plastic, white plastic, green plastic cover. Nice copper pins, well made back here. I'm not going to pop this off because it's too delicate for you to see up close, but all of the little moving pieces in here are rigid, they're all uniform, and they all work as designed. The only thing that happens is, as with any other part, with age, things wear out. The contacts back here wear out. The little pin that touches the other little pin in here wears out. It doesn't quite make contact, and then your car, you have to end up really pushing the key into the dash to turn it to start the car, and after a while that doesn't even work, in which case it's time for a new one of these. Here's the problem. GM part. Virtually identical non-GM part, okay? Same part number, same design. You will see here, there's the only marking on it is this little sticker that has a GM part number on it and the words made in China. Here's the problem. We've had things made in China for our company over the years, and thankfully the companies that we work with, we've built relationships with over 20 years, and they understand our requirements and they do the job, usually the first time, right. Usually. A lot of the big companies over in China, they make something that looks right and will work for a while, but the attention to detail on specific items is not very good. A good example, remember the contacts I was talking about back here on the back of this switch behind the green cover? Okay. So imagine a bunch of little metal fingers that move, and each one has a perfectly square little contact that makes contact that touches a matching perfectly square little contact on this switch. If you take one of these apart, which I've had to because they fail, you'll find that those little square contacts, where in the GM part they are perfectly uniform, these are kind of, you know, a little bit lumpy. Some of them are twisted this way, some of them are twisted that way, some of them. And when you take it apart, when the car comes back, because the part that the customer paid you to put in isn't working, which is always fun, you take this apart and you see that all these contacts in here are burned. You're like, why are they burned? Well, when you take it apart and you put the microscope on it, you can see that because the surfaces of both the square on the pin and the square on the unit are making very tenuous contact because they're not well made. They aren't perfectly flush, they aren't perfectly matched up, so they may just be touching like this. And what happens when you only have an electrical connection like this? It's called arcing. And arcing causes burns, and burns cause loss of connection. That is bad when it is the ignition on your car. So you've gone out for a great dinner with your wife at this beautiful restaurant 20 miles away from home. It's 10:30 at night and you guys are ready to go home and have a wonderful evening together. But you go out to start your Corvette, your pride and joy, and you turn the key, nothing, nada, zip, nothing. So now you get to call a tow truck, which is always romantic. You get an Uber home, which fun. And now you got to deal with getting your car refixed or fixed for the first time. All because this manufacturer, who shall remain nameless, did not do their job. So in this instance, I only use the GM part. Thankfully, this part is still available. I keep them on the shelf all the time because we go through them regularly. If you are having an ignition problem on your C5 Corvette, do not do this. Call me and we'll do this. Either I can fix it for you or I can send it to you and you can have your mechanic fix it. Don't do this. Do this. Well guys, thank you for sticking around to the end of the video. I hope you found it informative, and I've got more information for you that I found out by surprise this week. In anticipation of people following the video and wanting to buy GM ignition switches, I ordered a bunch of them from GM so that I could have them here if anybody needed them. Now, as I said in the video, the GM switch versus the China switch, right? So my delivery comes in from GM. I open the box. I pull out that beautiful blue and white GM box with the hologram logo on the top so I can be certain I'm getting real GM parts. Guess what was in the boxes? The China switch. So I sent them all back, obviously, but I just wanted to show you what we are facing in the aftermarket, trying to fix these cars and keep these cars running. That, you know, this is the GM switch. This is what's pictured. This is the part number. This is everything I ordered, and I got this. They have the same part number on it, but as we discussed earlier, it's not the same switch. Point being, make sure even if you're buying GM, you may be getting the white box Chinese stuff that they just dumped into a GM box and then charged you a premium for. So be aware of what you're buying. In the meantime, as far as these switches go, if you needed an ignition switch for your C5, find a good used one because these guys simply don't last. That's all. Thank you for watching, and as if I can find a source for these, I will make another video, let you know that they're available again. But for right now, China ho. Thanks.